recently in Spain, and we got to go to the headquarters for Cosentino. And we got to interview Valentin, who is one of the kings of Cosentino in my mind, product development. And I can't even believe we got to interview him there.
It was so special because I think you and I had both taken a trip there previously and seen their incredible factory. A factory doesn't even do it justice. It's a small village, really. I mean, what they had, but getting to be there and then not only go, with the people we got to go with, but to then get to have the time to interview Valentin and see their new product and hear about it and him. And so why we're sort of speaking to this now is what you might hear is not all of the greatness because our audio was not on point and maybe some of our video. But like we said before,
we are designers. We are not techies.
We are not.
Nope.
Ask my kids as they get frustrated watching me try to just use my iPhone. So
yes.
we're so sorry.
We did the best we could, and we hauled our equipment all over Europe for 9 days.
And Rainey really hauled it because I was on crutches, and this bitch had this stuff in a bag all over Europe. Yeah. She wouldn't let anybody else touch it.
Yeah.
So we are sorry, and mostly to Valentin if his beautiful points and topics were not captured like they should have been, but hopefully his accent comes through loud and clear.
No, he's
darling.
Just so darling. And so enjoy this podcast. We hope that it is as meaningful to you as it was to us.
We are in Cosentino, Almeria,
Spain. We're their headquarters.
Did we just say we're in Spain?
Mm-hmm. We did, just as if it just rolled right off the tongue. Yeah. We are here at their headquarters, just having the most incredible time, right?
So I was here 2 years ago, and the amount of growth that has happened in 2 years, just makes your head spin.
Yeah, in what we've gotten to see, yeah. And the truer that ours was done their difference. And it sounds like even yours was different from what so they're constantly, that's the beauty of it and why we're here and why we talk about them so much, is they're constantly innovating, changing, and growing with where it needs to be. And Mark's, or maybe it didn't work, they're not stuck.
Yeah.
They are not. Even though it's a hard surface situation, they're not stuck. They're not hard. Right, and that growth. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So today we are talking, we're talking about Cosentino. Countertop material. They do natural stone. They do sell and supply natural stone, but they also are really well known in our market for silestone and ductile. And
we are here today to talk about a very new product, and this is so exciting because we did get to see it, and
we were the first ones.
We were the first, besides their design team, so that was very, very exciting. And they're, again, because they care and they want the best for their company, they were asking, they were like, this is going to go to production in a couple of weeks. What do you think? What do you guys feel from seeing this new collection? Is it adding? Is it subtract? Where are we at? And so I think that's, again, the beauty of why we use them almost
100%, because they listen to the design.
They really want to know, because they know who they want our clients to love it and use it any way they can. And I know it's, everybody knows it as a counter, but it's flooring or, exterior wall cladding, interior wall cladding, shower floors, all these things. It's endless. People use them in their tables, furniture. So to have a company that wants to grow and make other people grow well is enough.
It is really impressive. And you and I were just talking before we started taping. So it is the end of June, and this product is rolling out in September. And so this podcast will not be released until the end of September or early October, just because they're keeping the product under wraps until it's unveiled. So I think one of the things we're talking about is the feeling and the culture of this company. And so we've been here for a couple of days, and every single person is always purposefully engaged in work and what they do. And they have very defined lanes, and they're very happy and seem very healthy. I mean, all of the things.
That's the part. We met so many people that when they say their age, it feels like they were maybe born, I don't know, last week or the week before. They're like, Hey, 37.
Yeah.
And it just,
I've been with the company for 20 years. And so but you're only 20.
yeah, you just were born. And it does go to the lifestyle, the commitment to the family, like we've discussed, the enormity of size of how much land this place takes over. And it's almost complete, it's sustainable from that ecology standpoint. It's huge. But they have medical on site for their people. They have a bus that will pick them up in different areas if they, don't live right in this town, to get them to work and not have that, everything you do takes care of people in the most kind and generous way. And it just shut up so.
And the other thing that we were just talking about too is if they don't get on a bus, then they're incentivized if they have a car and they carpool, like I think it was 3 people to work, then the company takes care of that. I mean, it's just mind blowing. And also the kindness that they've shown us, the snacks that they've had, and the coffee at the perfect moment gets whisked in, right? And it's like in the meals we've had. I mean, every time.
If a camera adds 10 pounds, Spain has added 50. So
Yes.
just keep this in mind.
Don't need to be kind.
But just because you want to speak us, I know we're working on it.
Yeah.
Wine and food.
The most beautiful wines, and we laugh because they have to now tell us. We require them to tell us how much food is coming, because the first couple of meals they served us, and we were like, okay, that was great, and we're ready to go. Like, we folded up our napkins, we're ready to leave, and they're like, oh no, that was the first of 5 courses.
Yes.
It's like, what?
We were begging them to stop bringing food. So, it's just been over the top. But have we said no to something?
No, not.
Everything.
And so we are going to get to interview Valentin. He is sort of the genius, one of the geniuses of this brand. So if you're a designer, a baby designer, an experienced designer, a home enthusiast, we invite you today to our interview of Valentin and the new product. Yay!
Hello. Welcome. And thank you so much for being here with us. This is Valentin.
And what is your title, your official title?
Well, it's a mix of positions, but it's product innovation and quality vice president at Cosentino.
Wow. Amazing. Okay. So can you just walk us through when you kind of began here, or just that like how you got here and where you've evolved from?
It was a long trip since I started here to now. I'm working for Cosentino almost 20 years already. And my background is totally different to what I'm doing today. I'm a physicist, an electronic engineer, and by chance I ended up working here in Almeria, and it has been an awesome journey.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. But it kind of makes sense to what you are now creating, that physicist background, which I get lends to all of the questions we're going to ask today. So you guys have a new brand under the Cosentino umbrella. Can you speak to us about this?
This new brand is ｙECLOS, and it's our new baby. It's the result of trying to fix problems, and this is my background, and this is the background of my team. What we work on is trying to solve problems and give new solutions. And in the case of ｙECLOS, we were looking for the perfect material for countertops. Taking the best of Vector and the best of Silestone, blending them together and overcoming the limitations of both products. So that's kind of the improved version of Vector and Silestone for countertops.
So just to be clear, under the umbrella of Cosentino, there is Silestone and there is Decton, and now we're going to have ｙECLOS.
That's right.
And so tell me about when your team sat down, or how you decided we need another product, bit of a brand. And this is the problem that this brand is specifically going to address.
All products have a life cycle. When they are new, they become exciting and fresh, and designers want to use it. But after some time, if you're not able to upcycle them and adding new features and adding new aesthetics, they start to decline and become obsolete. Sandstone is a product that's already 30 years old. Decton is already 12 years old. Time flies.
Almost a teenager.
And when we were thinking about how to make this new generation of product, the brief was let's do something that is impressive in terms of aesthetics, that overcomes the limitations that you have both in Decton and Sandstone. Let's make something that it's high performing for countertops, because you want something that it's very durable, very easy to maintain, and very sturdy. And let's do it with the technologies and the capacities that we have in 2025. I mean, best in class in terms of sustainability, best in class in terms of health and safety. Putting all of that together, we realized that we had something really powerful in our hearts, and it deserves a new category, a new brand.
That is so. To this best in class and sustainability and all of those things. You guys are essentially fully sustainable here at Cosentino. And can you just tell, because we can't even get the enormity. We've seen it, a couple of people that had the opportunity to be here a couple times, and just walk us through that. Even the mounds outside.
Yeah.
The mounds of recycled material. Yeah. That will become something someday.
It's I love to talk to designers, architects. It's part of my job, just feeding myself with all these stories and all these narratives. And one of the things that you value the most is what's behind the product, how it's made, what energy you use to produce it, what the material source. And that's also a strong motivation to differentiate ourselves. I like to say that it's not just about what, it's about how. And in this how, we have spent thousands of research and development hours in how we could make a product that was more sustainable, with a smaller impact in environment, with a smaller carbon footprint. And one of the things that first came to our mind is that why should we take new raw materials from a quarry if you could use something that it's already give already a second life, a second chance. It's not just that you are using something that otherwise would be a problem. It's just that you are not taking a new raw material, and it makes some sense. But in terms of energy, water, emissions, and everything, us as a company, we have been always very proud of having best available technologies, always in place. And you know, many times you have to choose. Do you take right side of the road or left side of the road? And what guides us is that we want to have a positive impact in society and environment. And I know many companies say that, but we really live this.
Yeah. That's what is so special, and what I think people, when they are going and looking for, there's lots of pretty products out there, but to that is so important to us right now. I think it should be important to everyone all the time, but we really are looking at down the road of what we're doing to our environment, and really upfrontly right now. And so you guys have been doing this, though. This isn't like you just jumped on the bandwagon. You have been doing this. Has kind of been your culture since the beginning, and that's what is so impressive.
And you cannot fake it, because you really notice when you don't have this authenticity. And you can have a very nice catalog, and you can have a very nice website, but when you scratch and you really notice which companies really believe in that and which companies are doing that because it's trendy or fancy, or I want to be perceived as a sustainable company. But all these decisions that you take day by day, if what really determines if you are not. When you can choose this raw material that it's very cheap, but it's coming from a not so clean source, or you can choose this one that it's maybe a little bit more expensive, but you are going to work hard to make it competitive and use it something that has a smaller impact.
It's amazing. It's like it's really in your DNA, and you can see it and feel it when you're here. So I have two questions about the new brand, ｙECLOS. Number one, what are the recycled materials that are in the product, and how long did it take you to develop this new product?
Well, first thing is that ｙECLOS, it's a product that we hope to last a long time. So what I thought is that we had done this first collection, but we had the gate open, to add new stuff for the future collection. So mainly what we are using here as a recycled content is recycled glass. And this glass is coming from glass industry, so it's coming from post-consumer recycled glass. And the key thing here is that to make it at a Cosentino scale, you need big amounts of material. So you have to work with suppliers so they can provide you with the right amount of material, with the right quality of materials. So it's a joint effort with the suppliers. Because you go and find this source of glass, and it looks like something that you can use. But when you talk about amounts, you blow off their minds, because they tell you, I can provide you 5,000 tons. And I say, a month? No, I say, no, a year. And I need a completely different scale because of the size of what we do and the scale of Cosentino. So first thing is that they scratch their fingers. Look, I'm going to make 5,000 of this every month, and you have to have them, you have to invest with them, you have to implement the technology also so they can classify, they can filter, they can clean, and they can become a provider in such a scale. And I think that it has some merit, because it's, there's some sense in the world today that big companies are able, and only small companies, craftsmanship is very, very true and it's authentic. But if you want to have an impact, you have to work in a scale. So it's okay. It's very worth to remark that we all have to do our part. But if you are recycling 500 kilos of raw material, it's fine. But when you are recycling 50,000 tons of raw material, it's a different scale, it's a different thing.
How long did it take you to develop this technology for this new brand?
In fact, we are in the process already of developing this. We started because in R&D, especially when you are working in cutting edge technology, it's not the last mile, is everything that you have had to do before. So we started to work with recycled materials maybe 10 years ago. And we started to work with full body decoration techniques 15 years ago. And now at some point they coalesce into something new, and probably the last sprint, it has been like 1 year and a half, but only because we have made all this background job for a long time. And now, as I said, it's an endless game. I like to say that we play infinite games, because it's just that we are finishing a program, we are thinking how to improve it for the next time, or how we could make it with a smaller impact, or how we could use more recycled content, or how we could use less water in the process. So it never ends. It's just that this is where we have reached today, but now we are working tomorrow.
And so with this new product, within ÄCLOS, and how the technology that now it is through the surface. So explains to people so they can understand, before with that, just sent on and milestone, but you couldn't integrate these other things because it wasn't all integrated. Can you kind of speak to that? Because I think that's something that is going to, super impactful rather than the natural stuff.
One of the key things here, it was how we could make something better in terms of design. And we had Tecto, which is great in surface decoration. And then we have Samsung, which is great in full body decoration. And what happens if we mix both, and we have something that is great in full body and it's great in surface? But now the challenge is how you mix them up so it's not a mess. Sometimes the engineers like to use all the levels at the same time, and we end up screwing up because it's just something that it's worse when you put everything together, when you have that separated apart. But here with ÄCLOS, the big effort is been how you can blend both technologies and they feel natural and they integrate well. And it has been a lot of work, because it was about how you play with the translucency of the raw materials, how you play with this inks that penetrate into the material, with the full body effects that to have some type of synchronization with what you have. And it was very, very exciting and very funny, because it was like we were amazing ourselves with all the things that we were doing, because it was unexpected. And it was like the guy that came and said, look at what we have been able to do, and I have mixed this type of resin with this type of ink and this type of finish, and it was like a discovery process for us.
How exciting.
Because that's the pretty. I mean, we want the technology, of course, but at the end of the day, it still has. It has to be perfect. We like the pretty.
Yeah, and this technology, and I like to tell that to my team, it needs to be for something.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
Are these going to come in different thicknesses?
Yeah, we're going to start with 2cm and 3cm. The main application of this product, we think, is going to be countertops. These are the most common thicknesses.
I think one of the things that wowed us all is to hear you can now take that pot off the stove and put it right on the counter, which I think is a question we get asked all the time. People have forever, there's other product natural that had it, so this will be able to handle that, which is
I always say, of course you can do that. That the best practice is probably to just. But it's like, will we ever get over protecting?
Why do we need to have that thing?
Right. You don't have to do that anymore.
Three things.
But
that is
when this project started, like 1 year and a half, 2 years ago, it was like we were overwhelmed with all the checks that we had to in our checklist. No, so it was the sales team, and this new product needs to be heat resistant, and needs to be full body, and needs to be zero silica, and needs to be, and it was like, come on guys, you don't even know what you're asking for. I mean, at some points in this project, I thought that it was impossible, that we were not going to be able to meet all the requirements at the same time.
And you did.
So I remember that Paco, Pilar, and Eduardo asked me, well, honestly, are we going to make it? And my answer was, I don't think that we are going to make it. Probably we have some features in some collections and some other features in some other. And it was we had to make it up for everything. And this is the biggest challenge because it was at some point like, okay, if I want to get this property, then I have to sacrifice this other one.
Right.
And getting the balance of, you want it to be heat resistant, and you want to look nice, and you want it to be full body, and you want it to be recycled. And it was like, if it was not recycled, I could get it. I could have everything else. That's one side. It's just stopping me to talk.
And you glazed over the point that there is zero silica. That is incredibly impactful. We learned yesterday that in Australia, you cannot have silica in products anymore. And so that was really interesting to me, how you guys were able to meet a niche that it didn't exist, right? And now it does.
Since 2016 or so, the technology reached to a point in which we could start to make things without using minerals with high content of crystal and silica. We started with this whole project of migrating our material to this less crystal and silica content. Even though the regulation at this point was not there, even though we knew in the very beginning that if you work with the material in the right way, you don't need it. But we were also conscious that, one is big. Not everybody put the measures and saves to fabricate the material. In places like North America, there's a lot of people with very low skill, very low training that are doing this job. So as a responsible company, the way to go was that we made the best we could.
right.
Even though it was more expensive, even though it was more difficult for the facilities to work with the material at the beginning. But it's this long-term mentality of the company. So the good thing is that when this challenge to go to zero came to us, we have made a lot of homework before. Because we already were in the Q10 and the Q4, so we take advantage of this wave, and we went on this wave to get to the zero silica.
So we want to get to know Valentin a little bit. So we want to ask you a few questions about your interests, your family. So I know you have a little boy. How old is he?
1 year and a half.
1 year and a half. And you are a drummer. You play the drums.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we had dinner together at C Next. You were telling us that he loves to play the drums. Is he getting better?
He does his own rhythm.
Oh, right.
So that's hit as much as you can, as fast as you can. So it's funny because one of the things that obsessed me when I when I knew I was going to be a father, is that I want to share things with my kids. So playing sports is one thing, but music was one of these things that I think that makes people better. Arts in general makes people better, and I wanted to share something with the boy, and I think that what better than something that he can play from the very beginning. So yes, now he's that's the side effect. Is now he's hitting everything he sees.
Just sing this out. He might come up with something.
He wants to make
He
it
might
not
create
everything.
Yeah, but he might create a new sound.
New rhythm,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just last.
And now it's he plays all the time with the knives and forks and everything that can make noise. He hits everything with to make noise. So I don't know if we have a future drummer in the family.
Create something for sure. And your wife, is she completely on board and loves the
She's
music as well?
a lovely mother. She's very patient, far more than me. I lose patience far easier than that she's supportive also this way of and making things together and enjoying our time together.
So to that, so as a family, what do you guys like to do? I mean, you guys live in such a beautiful place.
We like sports, we like hiking, we like traveling. We are this kind of people that we like to do things all the time. And now with our 1 year and a half kid, we are a little bit limited, but we try to do this kind of things that we used to do and make the kid to be part of it. Mm-hmm. So if we travel, we know that we cannot be walking around the city 12 hours a day. In the morning we go to the city, or in the afternoon we go to a park and play with the kid, and we try to have the family being part of these experiences.
What is your favorite place that you've ever traveled to?
Very good question. It all depends on how you make this trip and what's your mood and what's the moment you are living at this point. So, for example, when I was single, I remember a travel I made to Los Andes in Peru, and I enjoyed a lot climbing mountains and sleeping night sky. And but for example, going with friends to Croatia and find a band, 10 friends, moving around the country, lovely. Being with my wife in Vietnam with a motorbike, going into the country, lovely too. So it depends on the moment you are.
That's a great answer. That is a great answer. Yeah. So what are a couple of years down the line from now, you look at this new brand, and how do you see it in comparison, and how many collections do you kind of envision coming under?
One of the things that they are trying now is to organize ourselves, because with so many brands, so many colors, we have realized that sometimes we are overwhelming customers. With, new launches every season, and new products, new applications, and at some point, not even our own people, it's able to digest so much innovation. So what we're trying to, it's just be more surgical and just doing whatever we think it's going to work in this moment, and no more than that. And I think that the part of trying to become a little bit more simple in what we do, a little bit easy to communicate with customers, a little bit more focused, it's the way to go. In which direction? I have no clue. Because what we have learned what I have learned in my career after 20 years working in innovation is that what I have planned to make 5 years ago, it never ends up happening because things change, market changes, and you can anticipate, you can predict, but you have to assume that you are going to fail much more times than you are going to have success. So what we try is to be fast, be flexible. So you try many things, those that work, you keep on doing, and those that doesn't work, just go.
Don't keep trying to knock
Don't keep on being.
Square peg, round hole kind of thing. Yeah. That's
So back to, I was going to ask one more personal question, because I'm always fascinated by what makes people who they are. Actually, I have two questions. Your favorite cuisine, and what are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading a book that wrote my nephew about the Camino de Santiago, the Santiago route. And I'm reading it because brought by my nephew, so I have to pay it, and I'm having a lot of fun about it. But I always like to read things that has nothing to do with what I do, just to open my scope. So recently I read a book about how all the DNA evolution in bioengineering has arisen in the last years, and all this CRISPR technology and so on. Because it's at some point you realize that things that are away from your business can help you out more than what it's in your business, which is all the time the same. So it doesn't bring friction. It's just talking to the people around you in your business. It's always the same type of things. Yeah, evolving around.
Absolutely.
Yes, when you look into different fields, it brings new stuff. Maybe you can use just 2%, but it's 2 new percent. It's really 2 new.
Thanks your brain. And then just getting yourself outside of that constant discussion here, it gives you freedom to then maybe see this a little differently, to make all those 4 things come together,
Exactly.
you know? So.
And for cuisine, I love cooking. This is one of my favorite things. But now with such a stressful life, 1 year and a half kid, I'm specializing now in things that you can cook in 10 minutes.
That's
So it's,
got a couple of
I try to eat healthy, I try to eat tasty, but needs to happen. The whole thing needs to happen in 10-15 minutes.
And you garden, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I remembered you telling me.
And that's something that, to be honest, now I'm killing more plants than usual, because I don't have time to pay attention. But it's something that it really releases stress. It makes you connect with nature. It gives you a feeling of proud when you see new plants growing, and I try to keep on coming back to it as soon as I can spend some time there.
So at this time of the year, what's coming up? Is it tomatoes or?
No, it's more about cactus. It's the thing that I like the most, and I have no idea how you say that in English, but we have churros, which is something that goes out of this cactus.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a very juicy fruit.
Oh.
That's kind of what it's coming up.
Okay. So what's something that maybe we don't know? There's
a question?
What's the passion?
Yeah.
Like, what's something they are like, actually, and I also love, you know.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would like to remark is that I'm here doing this interview, but I'm representing a big team of people working on that. And sometimes it's that people is intrigued about who is behind this, who is the mastermind thinking about that. And it's a joint effort of many people who are working very hard in doing this. And I'd like to remark that, because sometimes we forget about doing this self-recognition, but there's many people that it's behind a company like Cosentino that maybe they never go to a podcast, they would never be interviewed for a magazine, but that's the real soul and the real spirit of this company.
So yeah, that's a great place to end it. Thank you so much for joining us. We do know that you're very busy and your time is incredibly valuable. And so thank you to you and the team and Cosentino.
Thank you very much.
Why do we laugh every single time?
This is exciting.
And I always feel like I miss.
Well, as coordinated as we are, it feels like a very
Awkward.
okay, but this is a good reason fun. Like, where are we? And so. Hello. Oh my God, they got already. On my voice, I think I just went in puberty really fast.